Call to the member for Blair.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Deputy Prime Minister. When it came to defence, the former government made announcements based on pictures and press conferences rather than substance. What will the Albanese Labor government do to ensure the professionalism and integrity of the Australian Defence Force is always the focus?
The call to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence.
Well, thank you. I thank the member for his question and acknowledge the contribution that he has made to defence policy in this country. The Australian Defence Force belongs to all of us. We seek diversity in the Australian Defence Force so that it looks like Australia, so that at the same time that we can say the ADF is of us, it is also all of us, which is why it's so important that the Defence Force is above partisan politics. Now, there are a number of members of this House who have served in the ADF, and they rightly celebrate their service in the ADF as part of the CV for why they're here. Completely fair enough. And there are also other members of the Defence of this House who have had the opportunity to see the Defence Force in action, and they've posted images of themselves with the ADF, also completely fair enough. But when it comes to doing press releases or press conferences, as the Minister for Defence, as the Prime Minister, it is so important that we do not cast a political overlay over an institution which should be sacred in this nation. And that is the standard that the Albanese government will set. But that is not what we saw over the last 10 years, because those opposite never avoided a press conference where they used the Australian Defence Force as a backdrop. And the low point of this was on the 4th of January in 2020, during the biggest mega-fire in our recorded history, just 4 days after a firestorm swept through the south coast of New South Wales, on a day on which the temperature hit 44 degrees in this town, in the midst of lives being lost and property being damaged. And those opposite made a decision to call out the Defence Force to help with the bushfires, and then they produced a video which had images of the ADF, and the tagline was "How to donate to the Liberal Party." That was a disgrace. That was a moment which showed deep disrespect for our nation's uniform, but it made it clear that the Liberals love the politics of defence. They just have no interest in defence policy. Well, the Albanese government will be very, very different. No press conferences on this side using Top Gun music. No press conferences using the ADF as a prop. No press conferences with party political banners, and no press conferences with a tag inviting people to donate to a political party. When we do press conferences with the ADF, there will be a separation, so that the messages that we have as politicians stand apart from the service that our brave men and women in uniform give to this nation.